Good morning, everybody. My phone's going off. But I say but a lot. It's not cool. Anywho's, I was wasting a little bit of time this morning trying to find something to talk about, and I said, why not talk about all the stuff that I've been trying to do during this time in our lives to help keep me sane. So, back when this all started in where I am in mid-March, we shut schools down, and I work at a school, so obviously that affected me until they decided to still feed kids. So when they decided to still feed kids, I started going to work. About 3 days into everything, Trey ended up getting sick, so his doctor told him to stay off work for a while, and then his work told him to stay off work, and then my doctor told me to quarantine because he was quarantined, so all that, and then ended up coming out. It was a good thing that we did that, because about 2 or 3 days after he went back to work after the 2 weeks, he had found out from a coworker that a guy that he works closely with, 2 days after Trey took off, he tested positive. So it was pretty decent. Good thing, I guess. So we were basically at the house, stuck in the house with each other. Our house isn't very big at all. I don't know, I would guess around maybe 950 square feet, maybe 1,000, I don't know. It's not big at all. So we were packed in there for 2 weeks with each other. And a lot of that, we would go outside in the backyard a lot. We've done a lot of playing cards and games. And I've mentioned before, we have a marriage journal that we do. It's by Audrey and Jeremy Roloff. And so that kind of helps us keep our sanity with each other, because it gives us a set time to talk about things that are bothering the other one, that the other one is doing, and things of that. So we kind of like have a rule with each other that no matter what's said, we can't really get mad too much at the other person for that. So that kind of helped us stay sane. And then once that was over, it was spring break the week after, so the week I was supposed to go back to work was our spring break, so we didn't do anything. We didn't have work over that time. So my friend, who was being able to work from home, we would meet up at Butler and go hike the trail up at Butler and the hill and try to get out in nature, and we would do that first thing in the morning. So it was kind of like a good way to like refresh and start the day and clear our mind. And we did social distance during it. We would stay away from each other and all that, so that was good. And then once I did go back to work, they had decided to allow us just to work on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we would have to do work at home on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So so every Tuesday and Thursday since the middle of April, I've been off, and that kind of opened up the door for me to be able to work out in the garden, get that going. That really helped. Having something that I had to do and get ready for really helped me get out of the house and stay out of the house and not be on my phone or on the computer or watching TV a whole lot. And then I'm gonna take some drink of my coffee. I haven't had my coffee yet. And then I used to like to paint a whole lot, and when I was hiking with my friend up at Butler, we were talking about how we wanted to go to the store and get some paint and stuff. So I did that one day. So there was a day where I painted. Now, I am not an artist, but I did paint some pictures. I got me a little tree. And then, scooted the camera a little bit. Got me a funky looking tulip, I guess you could say. And then I just did some sort of abstract kind of thing. I didn't have any good tape, I just had Scotch tape, so it's kind of like that. And I just mixed a bunch of colors together to get this dark gray, so I don't know if I'll be able to touch up that, but it's fine and dandy. But and that was like an all-day thing, and yeah, so that was really good. And I did get like coloring pencils and crayons, and I have coloring books and stuff at the house, like the adult coloring books, the Harry Potter ones. So I would do that, try to keep my mind busy and doing something, and I was making sure I was getting outside a whole lot, basically, is the whole thing, all that I've done during this time. And then now things are starting to open back up. We went out to eat last night for the first time since all of this. Got to actually sit down at the restaurant, and that was an experience. Trey had mentioned it felt like a vacation, and it really did. It did feel like a vacation. And it was just, it was different. It was like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was awesome. I loved it. And some other things that I had done while I was off was, some of it was required for my work from home stuff, was to read books. So I would read a couple different books. I thought about maybe bringing them on here into the little book club. Once we're done with the forest bathing, do one of those maybe. And talk about those. Reading kind of helped me get into like a different world. It took me to a different place. Like normally, you know, reading does that for me. So yeah, what else did I do? I didn't watch the news. I stopped. I watched it for the first couple weeks, and then it was like a repeat. Like the first half hour was the same information as the previous video and the previous video, and we have a daily one here in Kentucky. So it was just like, started off with, oh, we're gonna get through it and this, and you know, and it was just kind of repetitive, and I just stopped watching it. I stopped. I was like, I'm not gonna watch it anymore. And I noticed when I stopped watching it and stopped worrying about, oh, well, what's the numbers today? What are we doing today? What are we not doing today? It was like I just focused on making sure that I didn't really go anywhere, and that I kept my distance, I guess you could say. And wherever I was told to put a mask on, I would put a mask on, and that was that. And it was a lot easier to keep my mental health in check. I say a lot, sorry. And that's really all I've done. Was I got out and went hiking, did all the nature and stuff, played in the garden, read books, painted, stopped listening to the news, stopped watching the news, tried to stop worrying about it. I did notice that on days where I wasn't around people that were constantly talking about the news and wanting to talk about numbers, I was a lot less stressful. And then when I would get somewhere or around people that were constantly like, oh, did you hear the news last night, or did you watch Andy at 5, or whatever, and talk about the numbers, then it was just like, oh my gosh, and it was just stressful, and it was just like, ugh. So it was nice and fun to finally just not worry about it. And now that everything's opening back up, it just makes it even more, makes me more happier, more less stressed. And all that. So kind of wanted to keep this video around the 10-minute mark. We're already over that, but so I just wanted to get on here and try and talk to you guys about what all I've done with my mental health over this past 2.5 months or whatever, and see what you guys have done for your mental health to keep it in check. And yeah, so stay natural, get out in nature, and I'll see you guys in the morning.